All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric, and welcome to tonight's interview with our current mayor of Manor that's seeking re-election. Our city's growing fast, and it's important to hear how our leaders plan to guide this growth. Thank you all for joining us, and let's welcome Dr. Chris Harvey to share his vision for Manor's future. Hi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, good evening, Manor. Thank you, Eric, for having me on this time and arranging this for the candidates. A little bit about me. Let's see, I moved to Manor in 2006. I've been a resident since 2006. Started working in the city in 2009. I'm very happily resident of Manor, Texas. It's my home was Austin, and so I wasn't too far away.
Mhm.
Married, have three children, and so I enjoy my time with my wife on date nights and getting to travel every now and then. And then my girls, when we're together, we love watching movies or playing board games. So a little bit more about me is I've been on city council since 2019, and your mayor for the last 3 years, and we've done a lot of work in the last 3 years. A lot of fact finding, problem solving, and implementation of strategies. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to serve the community in this next term.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. First question. With the rapid development comes the need for improved infrastructure. How do you plan to address the city's infrastructure needs, such as roads, utilities, and public services?
Okay, thank you for asking that. One of the things that some residents may remember if they've been here for a while and they follow me on my Facebook or the posts I put in Maine to people is that we actually purchased a system that allowed us to analyze our roads digitally and then rank order repairs to our roads that are controlled by the city. And so we've been actually doing that, and we moved our budget from under $200,000 a year of roadway improvements to more than $1 million through contributions from an IBC fund and our local dollars to ensure that we're improving more roads across the city. And so you can find that information on our website. So our local roads, we've actually been evaluating and fixing those over time. We actually have a water and wastewater plan for the next 30 years. So we're very good in that space in regards to our utilities. We are good right now on water, but we're working to secure another 30 plus years of water and quality water for our city as well. In regards to our major highways, which is what I know everybody wants to know about, Highway 290 and Highway and FM 973, we actually have made some headway in our relationship with CTMRA, TxDOT, and Campo, and those three entities are key crucial for schematics and decisions where which roads are picked, when they're picked for construction and design phases and expansion. And so we've made some headway with them, and we actually have some schematics for 973, and then for Highway 290, we have an environmental study for a highway now to go through Maynard towards Elgin or through Elgin. And that's a big deal because the environmental study is what's going to allow us to determine what type of road needs to happen, what type of highway, and the cost of the highway.
All right. All right. Next question. Given that Maynard's population is relatively young with a median age of about 31, how do you plan to make the city attractive for younger families and professionals?
So one of the things when I first got on city council, we asked about as we were doing our learning and interacting with other cities and Texas Municipal League for professional learning. One of the things I asked was, where was our comprehensive plan? And we did not have one. So one of the things I want to ensure we spearheaded was getting a comprehensive plan for our city. And it's a 30-year outlook towards, I think, 2050. And during that process, we actually had a lot of forums, and at our events, we solicited people's feedback in regards to what do they want to see happen in Manor and the type of things and attractions they want us to bring. And that document is now complete, and we're taking steps towards that comprehensive plan. And so that was one big step that we wanted to do, was solicit feedback and to get a document, a plan that was going to guide us the next 30 years. And it's a living document. So as things change, we update and
Hmm.
add new information to the document. The other things we know that people want are parks. We know that they want a rec center, and the community came out strong and voted for us to be able to purchase land for parks. So now we have 236 acres out east for parks, entertainment, and other venues that the public may want. We have our library on the way and our rec center on the way. And then, as
Hmm.
you know, the Manor Commons area where HEB is moving, dirt's moving. And so we have
Yep.
our HEB center there, grocery store, as well as some restaurants in those spaces. And we're constantly working with other landowners for restaurants and stuff as well.
Right. HEB, that's a big one.
It's a big one. It's a big
Yep.
one.
All right. Thank you. Next, with the average household income, excuse me, with the average household income of about 102,000, is there is growing potential for economic opportunities. How will you encourage local businesses, development, and job creation to match the city's growth?
Okay. And that's a very good question because we residents are asking us to bring in those big box or medium sized businesses to the area, but we also have been asked by the residents to support small businesses. And so a couple of years ago, we started a campaign, Shop Local, by one of our staff members, Ms. Debbie Charbonneau, where we actually incentivized residents and businesses for shopping local. And so we'll continue efforts like that. The other thing that we're doing is we're exploring the concepts of mixed density and mixed use developments and density, more density. And what that does is it allows for us to put in certain spaces, not all spaces, but in certain spaces, a little bit more businesses or businesses on the bottom floor, apartments on the top, which allow for affordability. And because you have more people paying rent in the space, the rent can be cheaper. When you have some of those standalone businesses, sometimes you get those Austin market rates for business owners that want to start up, and it's very expensive. So working with the density piece and the in mixed use where we're having business on the bottom, apartments on the top allows for more affordability. We're also incentivizing developers to build those spaces so that it can be affordable. Last thing we're doing is we're exploring incubator spaces, and so we're looking at the city facilities that we're going to be building, and we're looking to see how we can add local business spaces in those spots where we can control the rent, make it below market, and allow for businesses to rent those spaces for a time period for a period of time so they can get on their feet, develop their marketing plan with our chamber or with Opportunity in Austin, and then eventually be able to afford to move into something that's market rate. So that's how we're moving forward. Continue to work with our chamber, continue to support the Met Summit, which is a combination of Manor, Elgin, and Taylor. The chambers of commerce that are working to strengthen businesses in this area. So that's kind of what we're doing right now and we'll continue to do.
Okay. All right. Affordable housing is an issue in many rapidly growing cities. What policies would you implement to ensure that Manor remains affordable for people of all income levels?
Great question. And what we've done so far, we started with the legislative agenda. So back in, I think, 2021, we created a legislative agenda and a resolution that said affordability was important to us. And then we took that agenda and we had conversations with our state and our federal officers or congressmen, senators, and let them know kind of what was happening here in Manor because of our proximity to Austin and our desire to move forward with ensuring that the residents that live here can stay here, but also that our children can grow up, get an education, and then work here and be able to live here as well. So that was the first thing we did. The second thing we did was learn how to play a part in affordability. And so in that process, we learned that we could create a PFC, a public facility corporation, which will allow us to work directly with developers and investors to create market level apartments. So we're not talking about apartments that are inexpensive and fall apart, but market rate apartments with great amenities and facilities and so forth, but offered it at a workforce pay. So I'm a single individual, or I'm a couple, or I'm a small family and I'm working, but I'm not making $100,000 a year, but I am working. Well, we're creating spaces where you can afford to live in those apartments. And not only that, because I believe in generational wealth, and our council believes in generational wealth. So one of the things we're doing is we're working with some developers and investors to actually bring in single family housing that's affordable for the working class as well.
All right, that's great.
Mhm.
Mm. All right, next question. Transportation can be a challenge, be a challenge as cities expand. What are your plans to improve public transportation options?
Okay. Well, let's first start with why do we have so much traffic and why is the transportation crazy? Historically, it started because for many years, all of the best jobs and opportunities that were paying a livable wage were located to Austin. And so, because of that, everyone east, west, north, and south of Austin drives into Austin for those livable wages. And most of the communities around Austin were designed to become bedroom communities. And so, what that does is, over time, if you're not paying attention to that, you have that border extends in regards to it not just being Austin suburbs, but the suburb of the suburb is now commuting in. And so we have people coming as far as Houston into the area. And so that's the root of the problem, is that all the jobs in one space. So the root cause is that the real way to solve that is regional employment centers. So what we've been doing is working with mayors, and not only ourselves, but working with Taylor, working with Elgin, Austin, and Pflugerville, and anyone else in our Region 10 area to talk about regional employment centers and infrastructure in their spaces so that employers can go east, which means those families do not have to, or individuals do not have to drive through our city for employment opportunities. And so we've been working collaboratively with them to move employment out east. The second thing we've been doing to provide some immediate relief is securing the highway, working to secure the highway on 290, improvements there, north and south with 973, and then also working with our county, which is actually has a bond to extend east and west roads in our area and also in Pflugerville. And that's going to be helpful for the time being. The last is getting our sales tax dollars back from our regional mobile transit entities so that we can use those dollars to continue to invest in public transportation that meets the residents' needs, especially as we continue to build economic centers or retail centers. And we want to make sure that our kids, our adults, and our seniors can move throughout the city and get to different places without having to use their cars. We're going to want to have our dollars so that we can invest in those things.
Okay. All right, last question of the night. What are your priorities when it comes to attracting new businesses and industries to Manor? And how do you plan to ensure that they align with the community's needs and values?
Oh, great question again. One of the things that I've been able to do and serve is on our economic development team, which not only focuses on economic development for the city, but also employment opportunities. And so we spent some time with the Texas Economic Development Team, also the Texas Economic Development Corporation. And one of the things we learned was that in our comprehensive plan, we need to make sure we specified spaces that we were going to designate as an employment zone. And we've done that in our comprehensive plan. We have an employment zone. And so now we're working with the landowners to talk about their costs, their needs, water, wastewater, utilities in that area so that we can go out and market those spaces. We're working hand in hand with our chamber, with regional chambers, and the state of Texas to attract companies to the area. So as you can see on 290, you see the Whole Foods, you see some manufacturing companies that are coming in and building there on the west portion of town, as well as the east portion of town. We have companies that are from all over the world that are traveling in and considering Manor for their home base, specifically so they can support Applied Materials, Samsung, and Tesla. And so we're definitely getting a lot more looks in this area because of Samsung being north of us. We're working with Capital Workforce Solutions, which provides money and childcare for people that need to upskill themselves for these new jobs and workforce initiatives. So we have a relationship with them. We have a relationship with Austin Community College, also with our school district, so that our students can get the skills and the credentials while they're in high school and graduate and go straight into employment opportunities from there. So those are a few of the things that we're doing. I already mentioned the Met Summit and also our county. our county is doing a lot of work to bring spec buildings down 130 for employment opportunities. And all these entities that we're talking about, we're working to bring livable wage job opportunities to the area. And then we also need some fun for our kids or for folks who just need a part-time job. And so those retail opportunities, family entertainment opportunities that we're bringing to the area will help supply that need as well, satisfy that need.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add to this conversation that we may have missed?
Sure. We're moving forward, Manor, and it's because of you all and your support. We have a very good city council that we have now. I know I have some colleagues, three of us that are running as well: Mayor Pro Tem Emily Hill, Councilman Ann Marino, and Councilwoman Maria Mesquar. And one of the things I say about having a council that's in sync regarding your needs and your initiatives is that it's easy to move forward when everyone's hearing the people, listening to the people, and wanting to do what the people are asking for. And we have a council right now and myself that are spending time learning, educating ourselves so we can make informed decisions. We have a very good city staff that are trained, they have the degrees and the skills necessary to move us forward. And we have a ton of people. I can't imagine, begin to tell you how many folks we have calling from all over the United States that are wanting to figure out how they can be a part of Maine, how can they bring their business here or bring their family here, because Maine is the place to be. We've been in the top 10 magazines, in magazines as a top 10 place to live for the last few years. So it's a great place. And I tell people all the time, it's not because of the mayor or the council or the city staff, but it's because of the people that are here. The people know what they want, they ask for what they want, and they're holding us accountable for doing that. And I appreciate that. And I want to be here again to see the work through for you.
Thanks, Dr. Harvey, for being here and sharing your plans for our community. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in tonight. Remember, your voice matters. Make sure to vote in the upcoming election and have a great night. Thank you again, Dr. Harvey.
Thank you. Thank y'all.